Alright, so we're going to put together a smoothie. These are all my ingredients here. I've got curly leaf kale, banana, apple, kiwi quartered and tipped. I never take off the rind there, the fur. It'll just get blended up, it's no big deal. Can of beets. Just make sure that you get a decent can of beets. If you can find organic, these are just generic, but they have some salt in them, so you have to pay attention to the labels. And carrot, just chopped, and ginger. I wouldn't do more than this amount of ginger for an entire, Vita-Mix container, whatever this is. I don't know what this is. 8 cups. It would get really strong. So you don't want to do that. Water kefir, if you don't know what it is, look it up. And coconut water. And so we're going to put all this in kind of in a strategic way. I always start with the soft stuff, bananas. Just kind of throw that down at the bottom. Add the carrot. Put in the ginger, can go in whenever. The kiwi is good. Now throw in the apple. And then we're going to add our liquids. So beets, we're going to add some of the juice to your discretion, and maybe a couple of the actual beets themselves. Go ahead and just throw those in there. You don't want to get too crazy on the beets either. If you're not a fan of beets, it can take over the taste of the smoothie. Coconut water, I just kind of pour in. Well, we can just use the remainder of the container. You can get these at Costco, and I use about 1/3 of this per jug of smoothie. And water kefir is a fermented water and sugar with a kefir grain, and we're going to add some of that. That's a probiotic. Go ahead and add some of that. Might as well add the rest. Kind of tastes like lemonade once you get it in there. We're going to top it off with the curly leaf kale. Set it on there, and then we're going to finalize it with the heavy ice on top. There's a reason I do this, and I use quite a bit of ice. So I put, I'll line the top of the container like that with the ice, because it kind of weighs everything down. We put that on there on the Vita-Mix, and we're actually going to use a little bit of juice for the liquid, because if you don't use juice or some sort of water to get a little bit of liquid in there, you can see the beet juice and the water kefir's in there, but we're going to want that water line about a little over half of the container. And the reason being is, if you don't add any liquid, it will just turn into kind of like an ice cream, which is no good. So okay, so we're going to kick on the Vita-Mix, and it's going to start to swirl everything up. And my goal when I do this is for everything to be blended, but the lid underneath, up on inside, should be fairly clean. So you don't want to kick it on and throw this thing into high gear right away, because it will actually just splatter all up on the inside, and it'll destroy everything. And ultimately the point is to blend it, but to do it in a organized fashion. So we're going to slowly turn up the speed. You can see the kale and the ice are still hovering up here. And all of my carrots and kiwi and apple and everything is being blended properly. And then eventually, as we kick this, this is the reason why it's important to have a variable speed blender, so that you can do it like this. Now you can hear the ice starting to get sucked down. Boom. Now we can slowly. I give it second there. You can see there's still quite a bit of food particles in there that are still quite large. So we'll go ahead and turn it on to high gear. The goal here is to get rid of all these little tiny dots and specks. Those should be gone completely when I'm done. Let this run for a minute. So all those specks are gone. And then you take it down slowly and kick it off. Again, you should have like a good blender for this if you're going to do this every day. The Vita-Mix, the Blend Tech, I've heard good things about the Ninja. You know, a traditional blender isn't going to, like a store-bought blender isn't going to do, you know, do this stuff. So let's check to see what's underneath my lid. Pretty dang clean. That was my goal. So, you know, it's good and clean. It still needs to be washed, but it's good and clean. Now you can see the consistency of the smoothie is just like one that you would buy at Smoothie King or something like that. This is much healthier for you. Thanks for watching. Cheers.